All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So we have some breaking Jets news. Came out like a minute ago here. But before I dive into it, I just wanted to quickly say I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Obviously today's Black Friday. We get the weekends starting tomorrow. So I'm hoping that you guys are having a nice, cool little holiday stretch here, holiday break. Obviously, we get the Jet game here in a couple hours, 2.5 hours. Jets, Dolphins, massive, massive game. It's a game that the Jets can go out and make a statement. Miami is not only just one of the best teams in football, they're first place in the AFC East. It's a divisional rivalry game. They got the best offense in all of football. They're high flying. So, personally, I think if the Jets come out sluggish, lifeless, flat, slow, it's just going to mirror the attitude, the morale in the locker room, which is not going to be good. So we'll see how the game plays out. I'm hoping that they come out with some fire and make a statement here in, technically speaking, like a primetime slot. Black Friday at 3 o'clock. But we got some breaking Jets news. Lazard is benched. Healthy scratch. Now, as far as like the actual reasoning behind it, I'm not 100% sure. But what I can say is that pretty much all of the offensive signings, that Joe Douglas has made have been disappointing, and he needs to be held accountable. How is it possible that he has been here for years and the offense is horrendous? How is that possible? It's not like he just took over. It's not like he's 1 year into, the gig and he hasn't really had time to, make free agent signings. He hasn't had the time to load the team up with draft classes. He's only had the one first-round pick. Nope. 4 full draft classes loaded into this team. 6 first-round picks loaded into the team. $350+ million spent on this team, not on this team, since he's taken over as Jets general manager. Let's quickly go through the list of just the recent offensive signings. I'm trying not to get too frustrated here, right? We got the game in a couple hours. I hate posting negative videos before games, but this is breaking Jets news, so I really wanted to get your thoughts on it. But, God, let's just go through the list. Lazard, first year of a 4-year, $44 million contract. And last week, he's splitting carries with a undrafted free agent in Jason Brown-Lee. And now he's a healthy scratch. Again, first year into a 4-year, $44 million deal, on average $11 million per season. Not good. He has under 300 receiving yards on the season with multiple drops. Just been objectively disappointing. Who else? CJ Uzomah. Multi-year deal, objectively pretty disappointing. Slower, up there in age, just looks beat up. And multiple bad penalties, multiple bad drops. He had a drop touchdown, against the Chargers. It's just another signing where you're looking at it like, this is not improving the team. This is hurting the team. It's anchoring them down. We have Dwayne Brown, who is practicing, but these past couple weeks not playing. Finally has been activated. We'll see how he looks to start the season off. It was rough, right? I like Dwayne Brown, but it was rough. Just, again, calling it like I see it, just being unbiased, being objective here. This was another multi-year deal where he was paid a lot of money, or where Joe Douglas handed out a lot of money, and it just doesn't really seem to be working. So we're up to 3 now. Lazard, Dwayne Brown, CJ Uzomah. We can look at, we can look at Randle Cobb, who's healthy but doesn't play, who the Jets traded away Elijah Moore for, a young player on a rookie deal with a high upside. Traded away Elijah Moore. Granted, didn't want to be here, but neither here nor there. Traded Moore away, brought Randle Cobb in to be the full-time slot receiver. And also released Braxton Berrios, a guy who, another eligible candidate to play slot, now gone, in fact, on Miami. So Randle Cobb doesn't play, and he is essentially unseated by another undrafted free agent in Xavier Gipson. We can look at Dalvin Cook, who has under 300 rushing yards on the season, and we're going into week 12. And Joe Douglas gave him a ton of money, I think $7+ million. So what are we up to now? 4, 5? Lazard, Uzomah, Dwayne Brown. Dalvin Cook, Randle Cobb, so we're up to 5. We can talk about Micole Hardman, who was brought in this offseason and was traded for a 2025 6th-round pick the season that he was brought in. Does that even happen? Does that even happen? I mean, if you were to look at the Jets' offense, again, whether you're a Jet fan or not, and say, oh, what are the problems here? They don't really have a lot of speed. They don't really have a lot of playmakers. They don't really have a deep field presence whatsoever. They just simply don't call plays there. You know, really, that pretty much is Micole Hardman. I'm not saying he would have solved every problem, but I would have liked to see him at least get an opportunity on the field. So he's traded away. Good thing we have a 2025 6th-rounder. Am I missing anybody? Tyler Conklin, you know, I guess has been solid, but I mean, what is that? 1 for 6 with these offensive signings. Billy Turner hurt, doesn't play. And this, notice I have not talked about the quarterback position at all, you know, lacking or refusing to bring in a veteran quarterback, whether it's before the season, after the Aaron Rodgers injury, failing to have depth on the offensive line, failing to have insurance policies, failing to have plan Bs at multiple positions. I mean, at some point, Douglas needs to be held accountable. This is I mean, he was brought in back in 2019. This is his coach. This is his roster. His quarterback is rolling, you know, 2nd overall, Zach Wilson. That's another, you know, it's a move that gets general managers fired. You know, when you miss on quarterbacks at the top of the draft. And it just sucks that we're in this position where it's not just the quarterback, right? It's not just such an easy fix. Who knows? Maybe Tim Boyle will go out there and throw for 300 yards. That's what I'm hoping for. But this Jets offense has a myriad of different problems, and it's so frustrating because this is like a multi-year project here. And for some reason, the Jets offense looks worse than it did 2.5 years ago under Adam Gase. The expansion team, as Saleh called them. That offense is better than this one. And this is the offense that's not rebuilding. This is the offense that has prized free agent acquisitions. This is the offense that has top-end first-round picks invested in it. The offense under Adam Gase was led by Frank Gore, Brashad Perryman, and Denzel Mims, Jamison Crowder, and had tons of issues on the offensive line, specifically on the inside. But yet that's the offense that averaged more passing yards per game. That's the offense that averaged more rushing yards per game. Nearly the same points per game. Nearly the same touchdowns per game. The Jets offense averages 1 TD per game. 6 points. And yeah, look, Aaron Rodgers goes down. I know, you know, the plan wasn't to roll with Zach and whatnot. I completely get it. But it's just at some point, Douglas needs to be held accountable. And we are now seeing the big money 4-year deal receiver getting benched as a healthy scratch in a massive, massive game. Tough, man. It's tough. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.